Hi everybody, I'm Caroline. Most of you might know me, and if not, you definitely know my sister. Our mom, growing up, was sort of an organic gardening hipster. She started going organic before it was cool. And growing up, I didn't really appreciate it as much as I really should have. And I kind of learned more than I ever cared to know about gardening from my mom. Of course, I got to reap the benefits by eating all the fresh fruits and vegetables and all that great canned goods, but it wasn't until I went to college that I really started to appreciate it and all the great food that I had at home. Because one thing I figured out is that buying organic food is expensive. And USDA certified organic products aren't always guaranteed 100% organic. So, how can you reap the benefits of going organic but on a college budget? Organic gardening at home is a great and inexpensive way to grow your own high quality natural produce. There's a lot of misinformation out there about organic gardening, so today I'm just going to talk about the facts. What organic means, the effect that pesticides have on the environment, and why organic gardening is possible for everyone on any budget. Like I said, there's a lot of misinformation about the meaning of organic produce. Organic produce can mean different things depending on who you ask, and labels can be misleading. Organic produce, by definition, is grown without synthetic fertilizers or pesticides, sewage sludge, genetic modification, and irradiation. Many people assume that organic means pesticide-free, but it's not necessarily true. Organic pesticides are derived from natural ingredients, but natural does not always mean safer. For example, rotenone is used to kill caterpillars and tomato hornworms and things like that, but it's also extremely toxic to fish, which can be okay if it's used specifically for that purpose, like to kill invasive fish species, but water runoff and all that means bad news, especially when you have to often reapply organic pesticides more than their synthetic counterparts. There's plenty of other ways to control pesticides in your own garden, like insect traps or even biological controls like introducing parasitic wasps or viruses that only affect one species of insect, such as Cidex. You can buy and spray on your fruit trees that will only kill crumbling moths and nothing else. And these are certainly a better alternative to pesticides because, organic or not, they can still be very harmful. Food labeled organic in store isn't necessarily free of all the bad stuff that we're trying to avoid. USDA organic food contains up to 5% non-organic ingredients. And unless it's certified 100% organic, it can still contain these non-organic ingredients. And there are no set guidelines for quote-unquote natural food, except for meat. So labels can be misleading, and growing your own produce is a guaranteed way to know exactly what went into your fruits and vegetables, and it's way more affordable. Organic pesticides aren't without their downsides, but the effect of synthetic pesticides in the environment is huge. Pesticides don't just affect our food, they contaminate our soil, our water, and our air. The Rural Urban Synthesis Society conducted a survey, and over 98% of insecticides and 95% of herbicides reach a destination other than their target species, such as other plants, animals, the air, our water, and people. When sprayed aerially, pesticide drift can occur. The wind carries pesticide particles to the surrounding areas, affecting wildlife and the environment. A U.S. Geographical survey in 2001 found that pesticides polluted every stream and 90% of wells surveyed. And this is caused by runoff, soil erosion, and accidents and spills. The impact of pesticides on the life around us is also astounding. According to U.S. Fish and Wildlife, an estimated 72 million birds are killed annually by pesticides. And even though the book Silent Spring by Rachel Carson raised awareness in 1962, it still remains a huge problem, while insects are still evolving and becoming resistant to pesticides. In addition to soil, water, air, and wildlife, pesticides are also extremely harmful to humans. Through inhalation, skin contact, and through food and water, everyone is exposed to pesticides, with farm workers being at the greatest risk. And exposure can lead to birth defects, certain cancers, and death. So we've talked about why you should start going organic and growing organic foods, but let's talk about how you can have your own organic garden. Organic gardening can work for any space and on any budget. Vegetables and plants don't care if you live out in the boonies or in downtown Columbus. All they need is soil, water, and sunlight. So if you have a roof, a patio, a window box, you can have a garden, as long as you have containers, dirt, and plants. You don't even really need to buy containers or spend a lot of money on containers. You can reuse empty containers like 5-gallon buckets, as long as they're not transparent and you drill holes in the bottom for drainage. So besides potting soil, containers, and your plants, there's not much else you need. In selecting your plants, you want to make sure to look for disease-resistant varieties, and in addition from sparing you from having to use pesticides and fungicides to control disease, you're going to save money in the long run from not having to spend money on those chemicals. So even in the smallest yard, a garden can still be possible. There's plenty of compact varieties of vegetables and fruits, and there's even fruit trees that exist that are small enough for containers, so you can just like bring them inside, have your own avocados or star fruit, what have you. And you can also consider growing plants that go well together, like having a salad garden or a soup garden or a salsa garden. Or you can go and plant plants that have a high pesticide residue when they're sold in stores. The Environmental Working Group 30 Dozen list is released every year, and this includes produce bought in stores with the highest concentration of pesticides. And in the top 10 are celery, spinach, and bell peppers. And these are all easy to grow on your own and don't take up much room. So by growing your own organic produce, you can avoid harsh pesticides and save money. Organic food isn't about what's in it, it's about what's not in it. And growing your own organic produce allows you to know what goes into your food without going broke. Organic food in the store isn't 100% guaranteed organic, and avoiding pesticides is harder than buying organic. So organic gardening can be grown on any budget in any size living space. Growing your own food puts you in control of what you put in your body, and it doesn't cost as much as Whole Foods to have your organic garden. Thank you, guys.